Hi everybody, my name is Nana. Welcome to my channel, Reclaiming Myself. I'm back with a brand new video after 4 years of break. For those of you who stay in this channel, even though I haven't been posting anything at all for the past 4 years, thank you so much for continuing to stay. I'm so surprised whenever I come back and check and I saw a few comments here and there that my videos are still being watched. I am very surprised and very thankful. And for those of you who are new, I hope that my content help you and that you like them. So this channel will be about mental health and recovering from trauma. I'll be talking a lot about mental health issues like depressions, like anxiety, CPTSD, trauma, narcissistic abuse, dissociative disorders, all of the things that I've been experiencing. Yes, I'll be talking about them. Today I want to talk about emotional invalidation. I think this is not something strange to most of you here. For a lot of you who found my content, I think you've been through abuse and emotional neglect or invalidation before. Okay, so a little bit about my family. I grew up in a highly toxic family. I live in Southeast Asia. Love was very conditional, and a lot of abuse. And the abuse largely were emotional and verbal abuse, verbal attacks. There were a little bit of physical punishment, but it wasn't a lot of it. And in Southeast Asia countries, at our homes, it's just something very normal. Even at school, we got physically punishment. I was molded into this role, being the youngest of four at home. I was molded into this role of being the submissive little girl, being submissive, being polite, being small, fragile, obedient, good girl. My father, it was a patriarchal family. My father was very strict, but at the same time, he was an addict. He was addicted to alcohol. My mother was highly codependent and highly manipulative to the point that I suspect she is a covert narcissist, but I cannot be sure. My grandmother, my mother's mother, lived with us, and she had a lot of trauma. She had a very traumatic life, and she was emotionally dysregulated. She had her tempers. She had her thing going on, but she seemed like to be the only person who was more normal to me. Like the connections between me and all my family members, the most genuine one came from my grandmother, even though our relationship was bad, as in it was a lot of distance, because my mother hated my grandmother and she would triangulate us. Because my mother hated my grandmother and she would triangulate us to create distance. And, she would control the narrative of who my grandmother was to us. But even with those little communication and contacts with my grandmother, she was sweet. At least to me, I don't remember what she did, because for some of my siblings, their experience was different. But from my observation, whenever my grandmother was doing something for us, it was genuine. You can feel it. You cannot deny love. If love was true, you can feel it. You can't fake love. Coming from generations of trauma, my family didn't know. Okay, my caretakers, my mother, my grandmother, my father, we all lived under the same roof. My grandfather also, but he passed away when I was very, very young. I was still a toddler. All of them could not handle emotions. They did not want to handle feelings and emotions. Even my sisters, they didn't seem to understand feelings like I did. I probably was the only one who was normal When it comes to feelings, I would cry, I would express, I would say something, but all were dismissed. My father was mostly absent, the nature of his job, but also being an alcoholic. My mother was very, very controlling, was very manipulative and insecure. More about my mother the next time. There'll be a lot of videos about her next time. All I knew was to cry, to express how I felt. I was crying a lot. I wasn't a very verbal child. I was very highly intuitive and emotionally sensitive. So I could feel. I'm pretty much like an empath, very empathetic. I'm very empathetic and I could feel a lot of things. I was crying, I was angry, I was feeling a lot of stress and anxiety. I could not sleep. I was fidgety, I was a lot of things. The way I expressed was cry. And to them, I was the cry baby. I was the person who was the trouble at home. I could not speak because I didn't feel safe and I felt stunted emotionally, and I did not feel safe to verbalize, to speak. But I thought a lot. I was expressing on their behalf. I was expressing because my mom and dad both felt very, very sad and were not at peace. I could feel them, so I was crying to express to them, to let them know how they feel. I was also crying and throwing tantrums to let them know how the entire family felt, because they didn't seem how to feel or how to express their feelings. I was trying to let them know, this is what you're feeling, this is what's going on at home. And I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know how to verbalize that. Even if I did, I tried my best, it would be dismissed. Like, I was just the youngest, you know nothing. Who are you? You know, like, your opinions don't matter. And I was crying for myself because I was so scared and insecure at home. The more I did this, the more I was shut down, the more I was bullied. My mother would bully me, my mother would bully me, my sisters would bully me, because they thought that I was vulnerable and weak because of how much I showed my emotions, but I was just really highly empathetic. I remember my father would laugh when I cried. Like, he was supposed to protect me, he was supposed to be the protector, but he just laughed at my feelings. What all of this has done to me, all this emotional invalidation, I learned to self-doubt. I learned not to trust my feelings. I learned to dismiss myself. I learned to doubt my thoughts. I learned to doubt my identity. I'm a very intuitive person, very sensitive person. So my intuition is strong, but I did not know I had intuition. I did not know that was my intuition talking. I did not know this gut reactions I was feeling was actually my body's signal to something that is not safe for me, is trying to protect me. You know that feeling you feel when something is off, or when you enter a space, you meet somebody, or you're buying something and you feel like off. Everything seems great, you know, on the outside, but something just felt off. That is your gut reactions. That is our gut instincts. There were so many times my gut reaction has, you know, just give me signals about somebody, about a situation, and I just brushed it off because my brain would tell myself, no, you're not right. No. So I learned to ignore it, and after that, it always proved me right that my gut reactions were correct in the first place. Secondly, I learned to be ashamed of my own feelings. Well, I come from a family, and there's a systemic shame, toxic shame about emotions, not just negative emotions, but also positive emotions. Feeling so ashamed for just feeling anything at all. Weird it is, isn't it? Why would anyone be ashamed of their positive feelings? My mother was ashamed of positive feelings. The rest of my family were fine. My mother was ashamed of positive emotions. My mother, my elder sister, would be disgusted at anybody who felt happy, who felt at peace, who felt joy, who felt excited. But they themselves can feel that way. It's okay for them to feel these feelings, but it's not okay for other people to feel like this. So my mother was not happy if other people were happier than her. She would just throw this cold water, and oh gosh, it was so threatening. It became threatening to me because if I showed my happiness, it would be threatening to me. My whole body would react to it. I better keep myself small. I better keep myself invisible. Like I'm neutral. Like I'm not doing anything. I learned to criticize and dismiss my feelings and become very self-conscious whenever I had some emotions. Yeah, including the positive ones, but also the negative ones as well. I would be ridiculed, be laughed at, be dismissed if I cried, if I laughed, it's so weird, isn't it? Like, I could not have feelings. So I developed this inner critic, very harsh inner critic, harsh parents. If I have something, if I feel something, this voice would tell me, what are you feeling sad about? Other people had it worst. Can you stop feeling sad anymore? Can you stop crying? You're so annoying. You think you deserve to be happy? No, you don't deserve to be happy. Keep being sad. You see, like I could not be happy, I could not be sad. So in my mind, this inner critic is always attacking me, and nothing I felt was right. So I began to feel crazy. I began to lose my mind. I began to lose myself. And it's very destabilizing. Since I was a teenager, I became a bit different. Since puberty, I became very different. I became very numbed. Either very numbed or overreact. It is actually two concurrently ongoing thing. So numb because I was disconnected from how I truly felt. I forgot how to feel. You see, as a young kid, I knew how to express, I knew how to feel. I felt for everybody. But when I hit puberty, things changed. It's like I split into two personality. I would become very numb. Like I disconnected from having to feel. I could not name my feelings. I didn't know what I was going on with me. I didn't know how to verbalize them. I don't know what their names were, these feelings. I didn't understand them. I didn't know they existed. But underneath this current going on, and I would overreact when I was triggered. So I became like my family, disconnected, overreacted, and dismissal of myself. I also felt invisible and not understood. I learned that no matter what I said, even my existence didn't matter. Nobody would care. Whatever I said, whatever I felt was not taken seriously. So I became invisible. Or you know that feeling when people, you're in a room. You're in a room, and there are some people in the room. But and then somebody walks in and look at everybody and try to smile and acknowledge everybody except you. Do you know that feeling? Yes, that's me. Because being a flesh is not just the only the only thing that matters to a person. Our feelings is an integral part of us. And when our emotions are dismissed so often, so systematically, it means that we are not there for the other person who dismisses us. Because our feelings matter. They're not facts, they're not truth, but they matter. They are a reflection of how we are treated and how we feel about a certain thing or a certain people or about ourselves in general. And if consistently I was dismissed like this, of course I would begin to imagine that I don't exist. I was trained to be a codependent. I was trained to put other people first. I was trained to forget about myself and just think for others first. So I don't know. I forgot who I was. My purpose, my needs, my likes, my dislikes, I don't remember. I'm just trying to reconnect with myself now. I felt uneasy. I don't feel safe because I could not feel my body and I could not connect with my identity because my feelings, an integral part of me, have not been seen. And that create a hollowness, like I feel like I'm a hologram. Another one is I crave for validation. I yearn to be understood in all sorts of relationship, all romantic, friendship, kinship, at work, strangers. It was really bad. I became so highly reactive and emotionally overly sensitive because it was built up over the time, right? Like my family would consistently invalidate my feelings, and then this invalidation would create even more negative feelings. So they kind of piled up. I wished I didn't need to say anything at all, and people would just know what I want to say, what I need, and who I was. I wish somebody would know me like nobody ever did, preferably a romantic partner, but I never found him, obviously. I also had a secret wish. I don't know if anybody can relate here. I had a secret wish that somebody would accidentally found my diary and all the things that I wrote inside and finally understood me and come and hug me. Oh my God, this is how I've been feeling. There was this huge emptiness inside me. This huge emptiness inside me that I was trying to fill in by looking for connections from the wrong people for a very long time, until I realized it's actually me that I'm looking for. It's actually me that I need to reach in within and tend the wounds. It's very hard, very hard, but it's reliable. Anybody can relate to what I share here today? Comment below. I would like to hear your thoughts. And please keep the comment sections healthy. I see you next time.